trying to avoid hitting fat shots, it's really important to understand that we are still encouraging you to take a divot. So taking a divot is a good thing. It's just important you don't take a divot from the wrong side or before the golf ball. So normally we'd position the ball up on a tee peg, but this time I'm going to suggest that you use a tee peg to mark where your golf ball is. So you take a tee peg and you just position a ball behind it so it's to the side of it this way. So I've got a ball on the ground there. I'm going to put a tee peg into the floor just next to my ball, and then I'm going to hit my golf shot, and the tee peg is effectively going to mark where my golf ball was. The understanding behind this is once this golf ball's moved, it's quite difficult to understand where the ball was when we started. And if the golf ball is before the divot's going to be heavy, the ball's not going to fly very far. If there's no divot at all, I'm probably too high and a bit thin. And if the divot is after the golf ball, then chances are it's going to be a better looking shot, and it's more what I'm intending to do. So the tee peg is there to mark my shot. Now, if I make a swing here and deliberately hit this ball heavy, I can see that my divot here is well before the golf ball. I can probably get 3 or 4 fingers in the gap between where the ball was and where the divot should have been. And that's not gone very well at all. If I mark that ball again, this time I'm going to try and take a divot. It's going to be more after the ball for a good strike. The ball flies up a lot more nicely, and this time I can see exactly where my divot is, and it's right opposite where the tee peg is. So it's encouraging that you should take a divot. Let's get that clear. We want you to take a divot, particularly with your short irons, particularly when the grass is quite soft as it is today. Put a tee peg in the ground, see where your divot happens after. If your divot happens before the tee peg, we've got problems. And the major problem that I see a lot of golfers have here is weight shift. We want to move your body weight efficiently. Understand the principle that generally speaking, you will hit the ground pretty much under the center of gravity. So again, bringing the tee peg around this way. If I set up and I just skim the ground, I'm pretty much going to skim right opposite the tee. Watch what happens if I lean back. I start hitting back, and if I lean forwards, I start hitting forwards. So if you're fatting the golf ball, chances are you've moved your body weight back, you haven't recovered, you haven't moved back forwards again, and you fat the golf ball by hitting the ground too early. If we turn correctly and stay largely over the golf ball, we then drive forwards in the downswing. Now when the club hits the ground, it's hitting after the tee peg. The divot is going to be in the right place. So use the tee peg exercise to identify where you're taking your divots from on a practice ground or on a golf course, and hopefully you too can start to see your divots happening after the golf ball, not before, and getting rid of those fat golf shots.